There has been a large amount of hate towards short and biased lifts on the internet recently because of science-based lifting and the popularization of length and biased lifts. That is all fine and well, but the issue is that shortened lifts have a lot of benefits that aren't really discussed anymore. Length and biased lifts are almost always better for building muscle, just straight up. However, short and biased lifts are almost certainly better for getting more definition, separation, and things of that nature. That might be a bit hard to say. You may say that there is no such thing, but I'm pretty sure there is, and I will use a few examples for it. Number one, Fred Rollin. He was a very famous, or sort of famous, strongman in the Bronze Era, and he only used chest expanders to build his physique, or so he says. Regardless, his physique was mainly based on chest expanders. And you can see that because he built a very sinewy body, meaning he looked very dry and detailed for the amount of mass he had, regardless of the fat mass he carried or how dry he was. I believe this is due to him using a chest expander, which makes every lift short and biased. As you pull on the chest expander, the springs are getting harder and harder, making the shortened position the most difficult. Because, for example, the rear delts on this lift, this is the lengthened, this is the shortened. And the more the chest expander stretches, the more short and biased the lift is, and the more shortened the muscle is. This is how he built the most of his physique. And given that, his physique looks a lot different than all of his competitors from the time. This is pretty strange, of course, but it is also backed up by a certain YouTuber, a very popular one who tried the same thing and got the same results. Alpha Destiny or Alex Leonidas. He also trained using chest expanders very recently, and he has reported his back looking way more sinewy and defined, exactly like Fred Rollin's, even though he has only been training with it for like a year or two maybe, and his back hasn't grown that much in size, adding to the belief that there is something akin to separation or detail development in short and biased lifts. You may not believe in that, but a lot of bodybuilding lore from the silver, bronze, and up to the modern era says so. For example, Jonathan Warren, another YouTuber I have gotten into recently, has really brought this discussion into my mind. He has said that short and biased lifts develop in detail certain parts of your body way more, and that powerlifters, for example, on their chest, which they only train using bench press, which is length and biased, do get a lot of mass, but not a lot of definition. I initially scoffed at that idea because I found it really strange and weird. I didn't know how that could be possible, as muscle either grows or it doesn't. However, I'm starting to think a little bit differently about it now that I've seen the example I've mentioned before. So, I think this is a worthy addition to add to your training, especially if you want a really dense striated physique or if you're a competitor. There is really not much more that I have to say on this topic. However, short and biased lifts also have a lot of different functions which are beneficial. Mostly, short and biased lifts are usually easier to cheat on, so you can get a lot more by cheating on them and not doing them super strict compared to length and biased lifts. Also, they are almost always way better for the connective tissue and the joints as they cause less wear and tear, which is also great. These are also just a few reasons to add them into your lift, because I believe fully that if your program is only length and biased lifts, then you will have a not very full physique, because there is no reason to only do length and biased lifts. You should do some mid, some short biased to get full development of your body, which makes sense and is how people have done it forever. Only recently has length and biased lifts become such a popular topic, which is fair. They are excellent. However, they are not the only choice. This is what I want to say in this video. Thank you for watching.